Hello! I'm going to be giving you a brief overview of all of the books that are in the LITE theme Go Global for grades 5 and 6. Just giving you an overview of the books that are in there and some possible activities that you could do. The first one that I have is Alia's Mission, Saving the Books of Iraq. This is an inspiring story of an Iraqi librarian's courageous fight to save books from the Basra Central Library before it was destroyed by war. It's about this woman named Alia Muhammad Baker, who was the chief librarian at that library, and her courageous and extremely dangerous journey of hiding away over 30,000 books from the library to a safe place to preserve the irreplaceable records of culture and history of her land. And so the style of this book is done in a graphic novel style, and so I think that this would connect really easily to an activity of the same for your members. So having them making sort of graphic novel pages or even a book about an important figure in their life or an important figure in history. The next book is called Magic Trash, a story by Tyree Guyton and his art. So again, this is another true story. It tells the story of Tyree, who loved his childhood home. That's where his grandpa Sam taught him to paint the world. So he wanted to wake people up to make them see Detroit's crumbling communities. Paintbrush in hand, Tyree casts an artistic spell, transforming everyday junk into magic trash. Soon local kids and families join Tyree in rebuilding their neighborhood, discovering the healing power of art along the way. This book is a bit of a biography about his life, his environmental art, and shows how he transformed his decaying crime-ridden neighborhood into the Heidelberg Project, which is an interactive sculpture park. So again, another true story. It has some really great pictures. There's also a lot of videos on YouTube about the actual place, the actual Heidelberg Project, so you can see real life pictures. I think that this would be a really good opportunity to talk about the communities that your kids are living in, and how maybe something artistic could heal some things happening in their community and how they would do that. The next one is called When the Beat Was Born, DJ Kool, Herc, and the Creation of Hip Hop. Again, another true story. A little bit of background. On a hot day at the end of summer in 1973, Cindy Campbell threw a back-to-school party at a park in the South Bronx. Her brother Clive Campbell spun the records. He had a new way of playing the music to make the breaks, the musical interludes between verses, longer for dancing. He called himself DJ Kool Herc, and this is when the beat was born. From his childhood in Jamaica to his youth in the Bronx, here's how Kool Herc became a DJ, how kids and gangs stopped fighting in order to breakdance, and how the music he invented went on to define a culture and transform the world. So this is a story about how this person became a DJ. I think that this naturally leads into some fun projects involving music. So asking kids music that is influential in their lives, and doing some sort of artistic expression about that. So whether that be drawing, how the music makes them feel, painting, doing some sort of performance art, some writing, anything of that nature. And I just want to say, for these three books, since they're based on real life people, there is an activity in your training guide called Quiz Show, which I think can be modified a little bit around these books because they're about real life people. So you could choose somebody to be a game show host, to choose somebody to be one of the characters from any of these books, and then have them quiz them about their life and about the things they learned in this book, and have them answer the questions as if they were these people. That would be a lot of fun. Okay, the next book is called Under Pressure, or Planet Under Pressure, Too Many People on Earth. It is about the different problems that overpopulation causes, including food shortages, fuel crisis, housing problems, global warming, and looks at possible solutions for the problem. This book is probably the most like traditional nonfiction. It has a lot of the nonfiction features, like a table of contents, lots of headings and pictures. There's a glossary in the back, so you could talk about all of those aspects with your kids as well. And then there's just a lot of information in this book. And so any books that are like this, some really natural activities that you can do are either running questions. There is another activity called One True Thing. And basically both of those activities are just ways to talk about the things that they learned in this book, but are just a little bit more involved than just sitting and answering and asking questions. So running questions involves like two lines or groups of people. The front two person approaches like a leader who is asking the questions or having the kids tell them something about the story. One true thing is where you go around the room and everybody continues to say one true thing about the story until you run out of things to say. So that'd be a good one for that. And this next one is called A Life Like Mine, How Children Around the World Live. This is a book that was made after a 10-year study and consultation by UNICEF, who are the premier organization devoted to care and welfare of the world's children. They published the results in this book about a number of children and what their lives were like. And so I think this page in the front sort of like gives a good graphic of what the book is about. So it has a picture of the world and all the different kids that they studied. And so then throughout the book, there is just more information about all of these people. I think a really fun activity for this could be to sort of divide this book up into either individual students or into pairs and have them read about the individual children and then have them come back and share with the rest of the group. So it's sort of like a group reading of the story. And that'd be really easy since it's divided up by different children and different parts of the country. And last is If the World Were a Village, a book about the world's people. So this asks the question, what if the world's population was represented by a village of just 100 people? How many people speak a Chinese dialect? How many cannot read or write? And how many chickens would live in this village? This beautifully illustrated and unique book, revised and updated in 2018 onwards, explains the whole world as a village of just 100 people instead of unimaginable billions. People's religions are explored and their education, standards of living, and much, much more are discovered. If the World Were a Village is perfect for inspiring children with interest in geography, citizenship, and different customs and cultures, whether they read it at home or at school. So this just kind of takes the world and shrinks it down smaller, and so it's really interesting to find out what the world is like using a smaller number. Some activities that you could do with this book are maybe to shrink down places that are around us, so like shrinking down Wisconsin, shrinking down Milwaukee, things like that, to sort of make it even more local, and doing some sort of artistic representation of like what Milwaukee looks like, what Wisconsin looks like, and so that's that. I just want to give you a reminder that your Marvin program managers are here to help you with lit art in any way we can. So if you want us to come out a lesson, you want us to talk about the different strategies, the different books, anything that you might need with lit art, please feel free to reach out to us. And if you have any questions, we will talk to you then. Bye.